Alright, hey guys, today inside of Corsa I'm going to show you guys how to drift. Now, I'm just going to put up what to do for your controller settings and your game settings. Alright, so for this you could have, you want to have your controller selected. And then what you want to do is you want to go to speed sensitivity, and you could mess around with that. I have mine around 100% and 75%. It depends on car. So don't go lower than 50, I'd say, but it's really up to personal preference. But you could start off from 100 and go lower from that. And that's basically how fast your steering wheel is going to turn. Alright, now after that you want to go to advanced settings, and then you want to change your steering speed to 100%, your gamma to 2.4, your filter to 0.9, your dead zone to 0.45, and your rumble is basically the rumble on the controller. Now these you could play around with them, they're different, so it's also to personal preference, but this is what I have. It works for me. Now you could start off with this, it'll probably work for you, but then again, I'm not sure. Yeah, you'll need a high-powered car with the controller. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could do it with a low-powered car, but that'll be like, I can't, but like around like, I'll make a video for a low-powered car. It's just a bit more difficult. Now, you wanna turn off automatic transmission if you want, but you could also, yeah, I have those off, and I have only the automatic clutch, and I have it set up so my RB and LB buttons are for changing gears. Traction control, turn that off. Stability control, it's easier if you have it 0.5%. I've never tried it with 100, except I'm guessing it's not. I mean, 50% works for me. Mechanical damage, if you want that on, you could have that like 100%. Tire blankets, I have no idea what that is. ABS, factory, I find it a bit more difficult with ABS, so I just have that off. These you could change to your personal likings. Track, you could use any track. I suggest you start off any track, just not something hard like acting a downhill. I'll be showing you on the drift track today. Alright, now that you got those on, you might want to play around with sensitivity. Everybody's different, and you want to learn how to use your car. So this car drifts best in second gear, and you don't need to apply the handbrake unless you're doing like a wider turn or the brake. Some cars you have to handbrake, and I know this is the way you drift, but I don't have a wheel, and not everybody has a wheel. So, I mean, it's easier to drift if you use both handbrake and brake for me, but first you want to get down the basics of drifting by full throttling. This won't give you a longer drift, but it'll give you like the basics of the drift if you want to do like a short turn like this right here. See, I couldn't do it for a long time, but it's like if you learn how to master it. So basically, what you're gonna do, if you learn how to master it, you'll be able to do that turn out, like obviously. But what you wanna do is drive, but don't like floor it. But when you wanna drift, floor it in like the gear that gives you most power. So in really powerful cars, you could drift in first gear, like I am right now. But like, if I'm driving fast and I turn, I sometimes can't with this car, so I like to do it in second gear. And if you're gonna do fast drifts, you can try a higher gear. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna just drive. When you wanna like do the drift, you wanna floor it and turn at the same time. But you don't want to floor it the entire time. You want to like have throttle control and like have your steering wheel like tap the steering wheel to the side, depending on your steering wheel sensitivity. Like really, you just have to play around with it, as I am right now. Just, I like upload a video of a session of me drifting with the controller. I can drift in first person, but yeah, you just have to play around with the throttle and steering. Now we have to drift with the handbrake and brake. I can do just handbrake. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Like I just get sloppy. With the brake I can, but I don't like using the brake. It just looks weird. And the game looks weird. So here, let me show you an example. See, that was a full throttle. It's pretty easy to drift with full throttle. okay, so this right now is gonna be a braking drift. So you brake. Braking is good for transitions, I guess. I don't know braking. I can't do braking, but like hand braking and braking at the same time is, you could do one of two things. If it's like a wider turn, you could do gas and handbrake like this one right here. You could like alternate, like tap it, or you could do both handbrake and brake at the same time and let go of the gas. And what that does is just give you more powerful torque. You could alternate with the handbrake and the brake while you're drifting to give you a better drift. But yeah, you just have to play around with it really, with those settings for your controller, basically, and I just give you the basics of drifting. You just gotta know how to counter steer and throttle control and like tap the brake. What I see a lot of people doing is they turn and then they do counter steer the entire time. See, I just got used to it. They just counter steer the entire time. I mean, you could do that. You could counter steer the entire time, and then, but it'll just straighten you out. Really, you could counter steer the entire time, but it's just wider and stuff. You just have to really play around with it. I'll just include some clips of me drifting right now. I also forgot hand braking. Now this one's pretty easy to pick up. Now you just hand brake. Let me say you throttle. You let go of the throttle. You hand brake. You full throttle it. That's how I do it. You could also just you could also hold the handbrake while you're going full while you're going full throttle. So like this. Like some cars you can't do the first or second technique. Like this 370Z. This 370Z works better for hand braking in my experience. So I'm just letting go of the throttle, hand braking, and just throttling while steering. So I start steering when I press the handbrake, and that was an awesome trip right there. So yeah, I also include some of this drifting also.